May I come in, sir?
Please come.
Oh, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Please be seated.
Thank you, sir.
Kamal Chaudhary.
Yes, sir.
Introduce yourself.
So my name is Kamal Chaudhary. I come from Sahibzada Jeet Singh Nagar district of Punjab. I completed my schooling from Chandigarh. Thereafter, I've done my graduation in civil engineering from Vellore Institute of Technology, Tamil Nadu. My hobbies include running, and I've lately started reading fictional books.
Right. Why civil services?
So the seed was initially sown by my father, but it was during my graduation that I finally made up my mind. I was fortunately part of Youth Red Cross Society, where I was get to interact with the orphanages and the people who couldn't afford healthcare. And few of my seniors were preparing then. So I get to understand that how civil services provide a wider platform to interact with such people and change their life for good. So this is one motivating factor for me. Apart from that, sir, the diversity of work, the financial security, and the esteem attached to the profile of civil servant is make it a good job opportunity for me.
So you've listed 4 motivating factors. Number 1, social service.
Yes,
I
sir.
can solve that. And security, job security, financial, all these things, right?
Yes, sir.
If I were to ask you to rank them in order of your priority,
Yes, sir.
so how would you rank them?
So one is definitely the social service.
So that's number 1.
Right, sir. So second is the diversity of work and the job satisfaction attached to it. So third is the esteemed attached to the work. Fourth is the financial security.
4th is financial security. Okay, so financial security falls or is at the last of your priority list.
Right, sir.
Okay, great. It's your choice. I can see that, I just want to ask, you're from Mohali, you're from Punjab,
Right, sir.
right? Do you have any Haryana connection? Why did you choose HCS, Haryana Civil Services? Did you try for UPSC?
So I've tried. I've cleared the UPSC mains this year, appearing for the interview.
You're appearing to the-
As far as the reasons for Haryana are concerned, there are 2 factors. My father is serving as a Haryana government employee in the transport department. Second is my maternal background is from Haryana. My mother belongs to Yamuna. Sir.
Your mother is from Yamuna, and your father is from Punjab.
Right, sir.
So you are related to Haryana from your on your maternal side.
Right, sir.
Okay, I can see that your optional is anthropology.
Yes, sir.
First of all, tell me, why did you choose anthropology? Is it because its syllabus is limited, it's easy to score well in this subject, or you did develop some kind of interest in this subject?
So since I had the option to choose among the 22 list, anthropology was the syllabus that quite intrigued me because it has both the scientific and humanities component. So I thought that the interest will be sustained in the subject, even if I have to read it for longer period. And that was the case in my, it's been 3 attempts since I've been appearing for this thing. The second reason was the overlap with the GS syllabus, especially the GS1, where caste and tribes are studied, and GS3, where science and technology and biotechnology party is being studied. So there was overlap as well, sir.
Overlap with the social issues part of general studies one.
Right, sir.
Okay. But majorly, it was your interest in this subject.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Can you tell me the difference between anthropology and sociology?
So can I take a few seconds?
Yeah, please do.
So anthropology is the study of man who is a member of society. Sociology is the study of a society.
Study of man in society is
It's anthropology.
And study of society is sociology.
Whereas in sociology, the impact of society on a man is studied. In anthropology, holistic pictures is gained. Whereas not only the impact of society, but also the how a man influences society is also studied. So this is as per my limited understanding. I'll read upon that.
No other difference that you can figure out?
Not right on, sir. I'll read upon that.
Okay. Can I say, because I've heard this answer, I've asked this question to many people also, what's the difference between anthropology and sociology? The kind of answer they have given me is that it's along these lines, that anthropology is a wider spectrum of human relations, and sociology is just covering the limited aspect of human relations. So, in a sense, sociology is a subset of anthropology. Do you agree with that view?
Yes, sir.
It is
I
a
agree.
subset.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. If sociology is a subset of anthropology, why didn't you choose sociology? Because it would have limited area of, or it would have limited your syllabus.
So as I said, anthropology has the component of humanities as the society part and the scientific as well. Being from a scientific background, I has a natural inclination toward that.
So it was your inclination that helped you making the final call
Right.
for your choice. Okay. Since you are so much interested in anthropology and it's an area of interest for you and you have a natural inclination towards anthropology, let me ask a few questions regarding anthropology then. First of all, tell me, have you read any books related to anthropology that were not part of your UPSC curriculum?
So I have not.
You've not. All right. Then, do you know anything about Denisovans?
So what I can recall right now is Denisovans are the most earlier primates.
Most earlier
primates that fossils were found. This much I can recall. I'll read upon that.
All right. Do you know anything about Neanderthals?
Yes, sir. So Neanderthal is a man of Neanderthal Valley. They are predecessors of Homo sapiens. Although they are not in the line of evolution of Homo sapiens, they are the distinct evolution line. And so other thing that theories propose that there was an interbreeding between the Homo sapiens and Neanderthal, and the result was the Homo sapiens sapiens, the current population.
Where did Neanderthals live? Where can we find their fossils?
So Neanderthal mainly occupied the European region. Neanderthal Valley itself is in the Germany, and the fossils were found area around that, and fewer fossils in the Asia as well, in Uzbekistan, and some there's a Tan cave, if I am able to recall it right. These are the areas.
All right. Have you ever visited any place in Haryana apart from Panchkula, because it's nearby? Or can you list down the places that you have visited in Haryana?
Right, sir.
Apart from Panchkula and Gurgaon also.
Okay, sir. So one is the Yamunanagar.
Yamunanagar, because it's a maternal.
Right, sir. So second is the Karnal.
Karnal.
Right, sir. So only these two places.
These two places.
Right.
Have you ever visited the rural countryside of Haryana?
So I've seen the villages in Panchkula and Yamunanagar, not in the other districts.
Not much contact with the rural countryside of Haryana.
Not much. But my maternal sides live in the village itself.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have some exposure of rural Haryana.
Right, sir.
Can you list down 3 problems of rural Haryana?
So can I take a few seconds?
Yeah, please do.
So one is the very evident is the sex ratio. Second is the high unemployment in the youth. So third I've seen is the poor infrastructure in the villages.
Okay. One final question. Recently, a report was published by a particular organization that was regarding Haryana's unemployment figures.
Right, sir.
Now, what I want you to do is you have to answer 3 questions. Number 1, what was the name of that organization? Number 2, what was the unemployment figure for Haryana, and how compare that figure with other states? And number 3 would be, what are the causes behind such high unemployment rate in Haryana?
So the first question is the organization name was the Center for Monitoring Indian Economy. The figure that they gave was around 34%, which is highest in the country, the unemployment rate. And the third question was regarding the causes. So one thing that I can recall is that Haryana has been the agrarian economy because of the Green Revolution. So, but in the current times, the agriculture has not been that much remunerative. And so there was a aspirational gap where youth is not able to find the desired job. Although they have got the basic educations, but they're not able to find the jobs. So this was the main reason because of the high unemployment rate.
Okay. Some experts have also pointed out that many people who are domiciled in Haryana, especially the youth, are unable to find jobs because most of the jobs are occupied by migrants coming from outside. Do you agree with that statement? Is
So
it
I
the case?
don't have adequate knowledge regarding that.
Okay. Let's suppose that's true. So many people sitting inside the policy circles who frame the policy, Haryana's policy, they actually came up with a solution for this problem, lack of joblessness caused by in-migration. What they proposed was that we need to reserve certain percentage of private jobs for people who are domiciled in Haryana.
Right, sir.
You know about this policy?
Right.
So they were talking about reserving a certain quantum of jobs, certain percentage of private jobs.
Right, sir.
What was that percentage?
It's a 75%.
75%. So they came up with that policy solution. Do you agree with that solution?
So it's a very short-term solution, in my opinion, because it has very disadvantage or repercussions for the industries. Because if we make it mandatory for the industries to reserve certain percentage of the jobs, three main things would happen. One is there is an infringement of the constitutional rights of the industries under Article 19.
Right?
Under Article 19, the right to profession, sir. So second is the industries might move to the nearest center like Noida from Gurgaon and Faridabad. So third is the required skills might not be able, the industry might not be able to recruit the people who have required skills. So this may lead to the lower productivity.
According to you, it's counterproductive.
Right, sir.
Okay. Yeah, that's about it, sir.
Thank you, sir.
कमल चौधरी,
Yes, sir.
अभी हाल ही में एक असर रिपोर्ट आई है, प्रथम एनजीओ इसको कंडक्ट करता है।
हाँ जी सर।
एनुअल स्टेटस ऑफ स्कूल एजुकेशन का एक सर्वे है।
हाँ जी सर।
जिसमें भारत में स्कूली शिक्षा का क्या स्तर है, एनरोलमेंट रेट क्या है, अटेंडेंस क्या है, इसके ऊपर
राइट सर
एक डिटेल सर्वे कंडक्ट किया जाता है, हाउस होल्ड बेस्ड सर्वे।
हाँ जी सर।
तो इस बार की रिपोर्ट में भारत के अंदर स्कूली शिक्षा में प्राप्तियां और चुनौतियां क्या है?
सर प्राप्तियां जो इन्होंने दिखाया है रिपोर्ट में, पहले तो ये कि जो ग्रॉस इनरोलमेंट रेट है दैट हैज़ बीन सस्टेन्ड ड्यूरिंग द कोविड एज वेल. It was above the 98%, which can be considered a universal gross enrollment rate. So दूसरा जो इन्होंने बताया, जो चुनौतियाँ, जो प्रॉब्लम इन्होंने दिखाई है, पहला ये कि जो लिटरेसी एंड न्यूमरेसी, जो फाउंडेशनल लिटरेसी एंड न्यूमरेसी है, that has been impacted due to the COVID. Around 33% of the children were not able to read the text in class 3rd or not able to do the basic subtraction of mathematics. So this is the basic, because if the foundation is not strong, then the higher level education become a problem.
Fair enough. So you are proposing that in this report, there is a fact that enrollment rate has gone higher.
Right, sir.
Okay, there is a record high. Despite the COVID shutdowns,
Right, sir.
the enrollment rate has gone up. Okay, fair enough. But we are standing at a plane where the enrollment rate is near universal enrollment rate.
Right, sir.
But side by side, the basic numeracy skills, basic reading skills,
Right, sir.
they are rather going downwards.
Right, sir.
So, what is your proposal or solution to correct this thing?
So can I take a few seconds, sir?
Please.
So one is to make sure that learning by through playful things or through videography or through use of audio and visuals, that can have a good impact on our learnings, because it is seen that if we read something or if we see something, we are often tend to remember the later part. So second is the constant feedback from the teachers and the parents and the students as well, and track their progress. So third thing that could be done is the proper assessment. It's often said that the road-based learning is followed. So we should shift to the objective learning parameters so that can be tracked well.
क्या आपको लगता है जो टीचर्स हैं स्कूलों में पढ़ा रहे हैं इनके स्किल इन्हेंसमेंट की भी कुछ जरूरत है या वो पार्ट फाइन है, बहुत अच्छे टीचर्स हैं हमारे पास क्वालिफाइड?
So even skill enhancement is needed. We have Nishta training program for that. So that should be followed, sir.
That should be followed.
Right.
Okay, fair enough. आज 26 जनवरी है, रिपब्लिक डे।
Yes, sir.
Fair enough. It's a proud moment for
Yes.
us. मैं जानना चाहता हूँ कि रिपब्लिक शब्द के मायने क्या हैं, क्या मतलब है रिपब्लिक शब्द का?
So a state is called republic if the head of the state is elected. So that can be called republic, sir.
Okay, so state head is elected.
Right.
Fair enough. I can see you are 24, so I believe you are a registered voter.
Right, sir.
Okay. So did you vote in Mahamahim Draupadi Murmu's election?
So I have not. But I have voted for those who elected the Draupadi Murmu, the current president of India.
Okay, so it is indirect election.
Right.
Okay. What is the electoral college of president election?
So one is both the houses of the parliament, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. So third is the state legislative assembly, sir.
Okay. That's it?
Yes, sir. That much I can recall. I don't know if I'm right or not.
चलिए मैं कहता हूँ कि ये आपका जवाब गलत है और मैं आपको करेक्ट करने का एक मौका देता हूँ। कुछ सुधार करेंगे इस जवाब में?
So this much I know, sir. I'll read upon that if
Fair
I'm
enough. रिपब्लिक संविधान की प्रस्तावना में भी उल्लेखित है, लिखा गया है वहाँ पे।
right, sir.
Fair enough. कौन से देश से इंस्पायर होकर हमने रिपब्लिक शब्द अपनी प्रेम्बल में जोड़ा है?
Sir, I'm not sure, sir. I'll read upon that.
ओके, चलिए ठीक है। हरियाणा वापस आते हैं जरा।
Yes, sir.
ठीक है। And you have a good connection with Haryana. I believe you must be acquainted with the factual part of Haryana. That Haryana is a landlocked state.
Yes, sir.
So कितने राज्यों से, कौन-कौन से राज्यों से हरियाणा बॉर्डर शेयर करता है?
So there are 5 states and 1 UT. Punjab, Uttarakhand, and UP, Rajasthan, and Himachal Pradesh, and the Union Territory of Delhi, sir.
Delhi. Are you missing some state or UT?
It's Punjab, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Himachal Pradesh. So these are the states.
Okay,
I
and
think.
UT as a Delhi.
Right, sir.
So you are not missing. This is a complete answer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about UT of Chandigarh?
Yes,
Is it
sir.
a part of Haryana?
So it's a part of Haryana. So it's the capital of the state. So it should be considered as the part of Haryana.
So it is a part of Haryana state.
Yes, sir.
Then what will be the Punjab's claim? ये तो हमारा है.
So it's
You
the
belong to Mohali, huh?
yes, sir. So it's the common capital of both the states, sir.
Fair enough. ठीक है. Most populous city in Haryana?
So Kurukshetra.
कुरुक्षेत्र. चलिए मैं ऑप्शन देता हूँ, आप सही करें, आंसर भी गलत है.
So Gurgaon can be another popular city, sir.
Okay, fair enough. How many divisions are there in Haryana?
So there are 6 divisions.
How many subdivisions?
So I'm not sure. Can I make a guess?
हाँ जी, please.
So it's 74, I guess.
74, correct. Okay. अभी ये हाल फिलहाल एक शहर को पुलिस कमिश्नरेट सिस्टम के अंदर लेके आए हैं हरियाणा के, जो चौथा ऐसा शहर है.
Yes, sir.
तो किस शहर की बात कर रहे हैं?
So I'm not sure, sir, but I think it's Panchkula, sir.
Okay. कॉलेजियम सिस्टम पे आते हैं जरा, काफी ज्यादा ये डिबेटेड टॉपिक रहा है.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you will be well acquainted with these facts. अभी हमारे माननीय कानून मंत्री ने एक पत्र लिखा है कॉलेजियम को, बल्कि सीजीआई को लिखा है कि कॉलेजियम के अंदर एक गवर्नमेंट रिप्रेजेंटेटिव को शामिल कर लीजिए. अगर ये प्रस्ताव मान लिया जाता है और ऐसा होता है कि गवर्नमेंट रिप्रेजेंटेटिव कॉलेजियम में शामिल है, जो कि हायर जुडिशरी के जजेस को सिलेक्ट करने का काम करता है, तो आपकी निगाह में क्या है पॉसिबल इफेक्ट्स ऑन इंडिपेंडेंट एंड इम्पार्शियल जुडिशरी के ऊपर इसके?
So the current system is followed to ensure the independence of judiciary, so that the separation of power is maintained. But as you said, if the member of executive is being inducted into the collegium system to a point. So the possible effect that I can see in the near future is that the current tussle between the judiciary and executive may end, because the system can only continue if there is a trust between all the organs of the state. If executive has now started to feel that there is some lack of transparency or the reforms could be done, then this must be followed, sir. The second impact that can have is the diversification of the collegium or the appointment of judges, as a different viewpoint can be inducted into the recommendations that the collegium gives.
मैं कुछ फिगर आउट नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ आपका स्टैंड, चलिए मैं सीधा ऑब्जेक्टिविटी के साथ पूछता हूँ, आप इस हक में हैं कि कॉलेजियम में गवर्नमेंट का रिप्रेजेंटेटिव होना चाहिए या आप इस हक में नहीं?
Sir, I'm in favor of that the executive member should be inducted, but there's a disclaimer that should be there, that the proper objective should be, or the proper criteria should be there on what parameters a judge should be appointed, so that there's a limited discretion on both the parts, executive and the judicial.
Okay, there will be a fine balance in that. Fair enough. You are having a hobby of running and started reading fictional books lately.
Right, sir.
So, do you pursue a hobby of running specifically? Do you run?
Yes, I do.
On a daily basis?
So in past few days, because of winter, I was not able to, but regularly I do.
Okay, so how much you run in kilometers or time?
So generally 2 kilometers per day.
Okay, so you run or jog?
Sir, run.
Run.
Yes, sir.
Are you interested in sprinting kind of activity also?
So I try to make a sprint while running for short distances, for example 100 meter or 200 meters, but more often I run and not sprint. So
एक बहुत कॉमन डिजीज है एथलीट्स के अंदर, इंडिया में तो बहुत ही पाई जाती है, कॉल्ड एथलीट्स फुट.
yes, sir.
ये क्या है डिजीज?
So I'm not sure, sir. I'll read about it. I've heard about it. I'll read in details. Yes, sir.
ओके, चलिए एक चीज के, ये डिसफिगरमेंट है या ये एक फंगल डिजीज है? एक तो डिफॉर्मिटी इन बोन्स और समथिंग, या ये एक फंगल डिजीज है जैसा?
Sir, I'm not sure, sir. I'll read about it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I just want to ask one thing about
Yes,
your
sir.
second hobby.
Yes, sir.
Started reading fictional books lately.
Yes, sir.
With which book this interest of yours developed?
So it was Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Sir.
You like that book?
Yes, sir. Very much, sir.
What did you learn from that book?
So I can define that in one line.
Yeah.
There's a quote in the book which says that if you want something strongly in your life, or you try to do something strongly in your life, the whole universe will conspire for you to get it. So it was the motivation factor for me to continue the reading. So
I think that book is the most important book in your life, since it motivated you to read further
right,
with
sir.
other fictional books.
Right.
So let's talk about Paulo Coelho's Alchemist. There is this concept discussed in that book called beginner's luck.
Yes, sir.
You know about it?
Yes, sir. So it was the case when Santiago something he saw a dream, and then he was able to found some cash and then went to the pyramids. So the beginner's luck is the concept where when you try something for the first time, you are bound to succeed, sir.
Because the universe conspires to favor you.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree with that concept?
So in my
happened
case,
in your life?
so in my case, it was not followed. It's been 3 attempts.
All right. And which was the last book, the very recent, latest book that you have read, fictional book?
So I've read 1,000 Splendid Suns by Khalid Hosseini.
Okay. What is that book all about?
So it's about the condition of 3 generations of women in Afghanistan during the Taliban rule, sir, in the early 1990s. That was about it.
Okay. You read the entire book, or you just started reading that?
So I've read it.
You read it. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's about it. Kamal, thank you so much. And just wait for 1 or 2 minutes outside, and just come back after that. We'll be ready with your feedback, and we'll talk about how you can improve in your interview.
Sure, sir.
All right.
Like this.
So, hello, Kamal. The interview is over.
Yes, sir.
Let's now talk a bit informally now. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now we are at the feedback session. First of all, Kamal, tell me, how do you think this interview went?
So I need to revise my optional. वो अभी revise नहीं किया है. And articulation can be done better, so for few answers.
For few answers, like
The one you asked on the sociology and the anthropology
yes,
different.
that was weak, yeah.
And so there was the problems of rural Haryana. I think I could have done better there.
Because that answer was not prepared. You're
Right.
just thinking about it right now.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious. All right. Kamal, first of all, I want to ask you this question also. Then we'll get to the feedback session. Your mother tongue is Hindi or Punjabi?
Punjabi sir.
Punjabi mother tongue है.
हाँ जी.
हाँ. हिंदी आती है.
हाँ जी.
पर वैसे नहीं, क्योंकि
नहीं sir.
गूढ़ी हिंदी नहीं हो सकती
नहीं.
है ना.
हाँ जी.
हाँ, मुझे तभी लग रहा था. मैं बता
Because when sir started to ask the question, I was not able to get कि
हाँ,
पूछ की रहे ने. Then फिर
अच्छा
हाँ, लग गया होना पहले शुरुआत में भी लग
हाँ,
गया
हाँ.
होना. वो भी मैंने, क्योंकि initially he started talking in Hindi. Initially he was
but then I
answering in
switched to
Hindi.
English because I was not comfortable in
हाँ,
continuing
he
the
was
answer.
not comfortable.
Okay.
इनको पता तो है.
शिफ्ट किया था इसने
हाँ, पता है कि हिंदी में सवाल पूछा तो हिंदी में जवाब देना है.
हाँ जी.
पता है,
But I was not comfortable कि मैं अच्छे से explain कर सकता हूँ उसको.
हाँ. चलो मैं बता देता हूँ. बड़ा इजी है, कुछ वैसे करने की नहीं है, क्योंकि उतनी ना खतरनाक हिंदी चाहिए ही नहीं है.
ठीक है सर.
मिक्स जो इंग्लिश हम बोलते हैं,
जी सर.
जो आपने स्कूल में बोली होगी, चंडीगढ़ में तो
हाँ जी. हाँ
इंग्लिश ही
जी.
बोल रहे
हाँ
होते
जी.
हैं,
हाँ जी.
है ना. तो वो होता है. चलो, what we do is, Kamal, every interview we judge a particular interviewee on 6 parameters.
Okay sir.
All right. So we also judged you on 6 parameters, and let me list down those 6 parameters, and then we'll talk about each and every parameter and how you performed in those parameters.
Right,
All right?
sir.
So the 6 parameters are: number 1, body language and behavior. That is non-verbal communication.
Right sir.
The other is personal profile. That is related to your educational background, your work profile if you have any, your hobbies, your interests, what have you done so far. That's your
Right.
personal profile.
Right.
Third is academic knowledge.
Right.
The kind of questions we asked you, especially the factual questions, were you able to answer them or not?
Right.
How do you think, by the way, you performed in those Haryana questions? Do you think you were good?
So for example, the data I recalled, for example, the unemployment and the
The
subdivision.
kind of questions sir asked about, the trivia questions, like divisions,
Divisions.
subdivisions.
I need to be thorough with them.
So number 3 is academic knowledge. Number 4 is verbal communication. That's your speech and how the flow of your answers and how you speak and all. Number 5 is intellectual and moral integrity. We judge this by certain questions that we have specifically designed. So for example, initially only after your introduction, I asked you, why do you want to join HCS?
Okay.
And then I pressed you on that question. I asked you, is money, powers, all these things, are they important for you?
Right.
Right? So through that, we judge your intellectual and moral integrity. That is there. And last is balance of judgment. See, there are 2 types of questions. One is trivia-based questions, in which we ask you about the factual information. The other are opinion-based questions, in which we are seeking your opinion.
Right.
So through those questions, we are actually judging your ability to assimilate the knowledge you have. How good this skill of yours is, like critical assimilation or balance of judgment. What we are trying to check is that while answering or while giving your opinion, are you aware of the 2 sides of the story? Right? Are you aware of those 2 sides? And are you taking those 2 sides into account while giving your answers? For example, the question on collegium that sir asked.
Right.
We're actually wanting to know, are you aware of the judicial viewpoint, the viewpoint of the judiciary, and the viewpoint of the government and civil society and others, right? You need to be aware of that, and you have to form your argument accordingly, right? We are trying to judge that. So this is the 6th parameter. All right. Now let's come to the first parameter and see how you have performed. Behavior and body language. Well, age is on your side, so you appear strong, crisp, attentive. That's good. Your answers are crisp also. You falter in your answers, or you falter where you don't know the answer. That's when your answers become more verbose. They become long. They tend to move. They're not in sync with the argument that you're trying to make. You're moving here and there.
Right.
You become directionless when
Right.
you don't know the answer.
Right.
When you know the answer, your answers are short and crisp.
Right.
Generally, it's the opposite. What happens is when a person knows a particular question or when he knows the answer, he tries to give all the information he has. So
Right.
his answers become verbose. When he knows the answer, and when he doesn't know the answer, he becomes short and crisp. It's the opposite with you, which is very good. When you know the answer, you're short and crisp. Like sir asked you, what do you mean by republic? And your answer was a one-liner.
Right.
Right? So that is something that we encourage. That is good. Short and crisp, and you're attentive. That's good. You're not a quick thinker. That's okay. Because certain questions were asked to you. For example, I asked you because I kind of knew that you have not thought about it. What are the problems of rural Haryana? Right? So you had to think on your feet.
Right.
And you're not that good with it, but it's a forgivable mistake. I mean, they also would forgive that because you can't be perfect.
Because I just thought the parallel to the Haryana, like what are the problems of Haryana, then I replicated it to the rural Haryana.
Yeah.
So that was.
I asked you specifically rural Haryana.
Right.
So yeah, because that was not prepared, and I was forcing you to think at that very moment.
Right.
So that was there. Nonetheless, your behavior and body language is good. It's good, and I don't want to change anything. There are a few things that sir would talk to you about, but then those are fixable things, nothing problematic at all.
Right.
The other is your personal profile. See, your personal profile is impressive, but there are a few questions that we have not asked, but they might ask you. One is on your civil engineering.
Right.
So you have got that prepared?
Yes, I'm reading upon the basics.
Yeah, okay. Then we asked about your hobbies. Sir asked you a question on running, and I asked you a question on fictional books, right? So you seem to know your stuff. That's not problematic. The other information that you have given, we have not asked a question on that, but you have mentioned it. You have published a research paper on self-healing bacterial concrete.
Yes, sir.
And you're the finance head of Youth Red Cross Society, Vellore Institute of Technology, right? So if someone asks you a question on these two things, are you prepared?
Yes, sir. I've read the basics of the two.
Okay. Okay. If that is the case, then your personal profile is perfect. Full marks from my side, full marks from sir's side. As far as your profile is concerned, it's good. And plus, age is on your side. You're a young person, so they would prefer that. And next is academic knowledge. Here, there are some problematic areas, especially one, Haryana GK. You have to read up on Haryana GK.
Right, sir.
What has been your source for Haryana GK so far?
So there's a book by R.K. Gupta, I guess. I've read that for prelims. Now I'm planning to read it for the interview as well. And some Google research.
Some Google research. Just go through the Wikipedia page also. Haryana's Wikipedia page.
Okay.
Just scroll down that page. Because there are certain things that you are expected to know. For example, Haryana's formation. What's the history behind Haryana's formation? Did Haryana demand a separate state, or it was the demand of the Punjabi-speaking population? Who demanded Haryana? Right? Which commissions recommendations were? You know about that, like Shah Commission and all. The year in which Haryana was carved out of Punjab, and all that stuff. Then Haryana geography, Haryana drainage system, Haryana districts, most populous. Here's the point also. Most populous district. Sir asked most populous city, and you replied Kurukshetra.
Sir, I thought you asked what is the most popular city.
Oh.
Then I said Kurukshetra. Then said no, it is not popular. Tell me some other name. Then I mentioned Gurgaon is also popular. Yes.
Okay. So let's pose that question again. Most populous city of Haryana.
It's Faridabad.
Faridabad. Chalo, Faridabad. Okay. But again, like I said, essays, जो सवाल होते हैं, essay questions, you need to know about them. So you need to brush up your Haryana GK. Please do that.
Sure, sir.
All right.
This case of commissionerate system.
Commissionerate, like it was Sonipat.
Okay. I'll read about it.
So Haryana GK
strongly, yes. So
it's HCS interview after all. Right? It's not UPSC interview, because had it been a UPSC interview, they would not have asked you questions about Haryana. They would have asked you questions regarding Punjab, since you hail from Punjab. Right. But because it's HCS, so you need to know about Haryana.
Right.
Because I think majority of the questions that would be asked would be from Haryana. That's our expectation. So you need to cover that.
Right, sir.
Alright? Haryana GK is something that is your weak point.
Yes, sir.
So cover that. When is your interview scheduled?
It is on 3rd
3rd
February.
February, if you have time.
Right.
Right? So please cover Haryana GK. Alright? Apart from that, your academic knowledge is not problematic at all. Since you've been studying for UPSC as well, so I think you've got that covered. As far as your verbal communication is concerned, it's good. The flow of your answers is good, but I've written here specifically that you falter when you don't know the answer. So your pauses, unscheduled pauses, they come up when you don't know the answer. When you know the answer, you are like this, bang on. But when you don't know the answer and when you have to think, then those starts to creep up.
Humming song. Right.
Yeah. So you need to take care of that.
Right, sir.
Right. So even if you don't know the answer, you what you do is that's good. That's a good habit to have. You say, sir, I need some time to think. Can I have a few seconds? That's a good question to ask. If you don't know the answer, you need some time to think, right? So when you don't know the answer, just make sure you should be conscious about this. When you don't know the answer, just make sure that whatever you're saying, say it simply, form simple sentences, and speak slowly.
Right.
So what happens is while you're speaking, because you're speaking slowly, ना, तो अभी तक सेंटेंस खत्म भी नहीं हुआ है and नया पॉइंट याद आ जाएगा, तो अस बंद हो जाएंगे, है ना? So speak slowly. But when you know the answer, बहुत बढ़िया. But when you don't know the answer, it shows.
Right.
And yes, खतरनाक हिंदी नहीं चाहिए, बिल्कुल नहीं चाहिए. पर जब हिंदी में सवाल पूछेंगे ना, हिंदी में जवाब देना, और वही हिंदी बोलनी है जो आप अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ बोलते होगे चंडीगढ़ में.
ठीक है, उसमें इंग्लिश के वर्ड्स ऐड कर सकते हैं.
कर दो.
ठीक है.
कोई आपसे ये नहीं कह रहा है कि बिल्कुल मेरा योगदान है, ऐसे मेरा कंट्रीब्यूशन है सर, है ना? योगदान वाले लेवल पे भी कई बार याद नहीं आ रहे होते हैं. पता होता है आपको कि डेमोक्रेसी का मतलब लोकतंत्र होता है, पता है, पर उस टाइम नहीं याद आ रहा होता, क्योंकि सेंटेंस तो रटा तो ऐसे था ना, डेमोक्रेटिक रिपब्लिक ऐसे. तो बोल दो इंडिया एक डेमोक्रेटिक देश है सर, ऐसे बोल दो. जैसे आप अपने स्कूल में इंग्लिश में बात करते हो ना, वैसे बात कर लेना. पर जब हिंदी में सवाल पूछा जाए, हिंदी में जवाब देना. ठीक है. आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड सिंस योर मदर टंग इज पंजाबी, तो आपको ऐसे डर लगता है कि यार वो जो हिंदी एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे, सर ने कुछ ऐसे आपको प्रियम्बल को हिंदी में बोला था सर ने. ठीक है. तो वो अब मुझे लग रहा था कि शायद आपको समझ भी नहीं आया.
उन्होंने चुनौतियां और कोई वर्ड यूज किया, तो आई वाज गेसिंग कि वो प्रॉब्लम्स और सॉल्यूशंस पूछ रहा है.
कह दिया था. तो जब आपने नेक्स्ट सेंटेंस में प्रियम्बल बोला, तो उसको लगा वो प्रियम्बल से वो समझ नहीं आया होगा.
वहां पे भी हो सकता है
वो पूछेंगे वो ऐसे उत्कृष्ट हिंदी के, पर चलो आप सेंस बना लोगे. पर आप जब रिप्लाई करोगे ना, तो हिंदी में रिप्लाई करते ना, इंग्लिश में ही रिप्लाई करना, जो स्कूल में बोलते थे दोस्तों.
ठीक है. कोई उत्कृष्ट हिंदी तो सर मैं वहां पे भी एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रहा हूँ कि वो उत्कृष्ट हिंदी बोलेंगे. आप उसमें बोलिए, मतलब जो मेजरली सॉरी टू आगे फ्लो के अंदर हो, तो जो आपका सेंटेंस का फॉर्मेशन होना चाहिए वो हिंदी का हो. ठीक है. सर ने कहा कि आप डेमोक्रेसी यूज करें, आप बाकी शब्द यूज करें, वो आप कर सकते हैं.
वो ऐसा मत सोचना जैसे दृष्टि वगैरह के इंटरव्यूज में ऐसा होता है कि वो हिंदी में बात करते हैं, बच्चे भी बड़ी खतरनाक हिंदी में रिप्लाई करते हैं, तो यही करना होता है. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. वहाँ वो पूछेंगे नॉर्मल सी हिंदी में बोल देना, है ना? तो वो बस ध्यान रखना, हिंदी का जवाब हिंदी में देना. योर इंग्लिश फ्लो इज गुड, योर हिंदी फ्लो इज ऑल्सो गुड. आई एम नॉट, पर वो बस आपको अंदर से है कि हेजिटेंसी था कि हाँ वैसे हिंदी नहीं आती मेरे को, तो टेंशन नहीं लेनी है. ठीक है. बाकी इंटेलेक्चुअल एंड मॉरल इंटेग्रिटी, I asked you a question, why do you want to join civil services? Your question was apt and you appear honest, so moral integrity भी सही है, and balance of judgment भी मुझे ठीक लगा है. बाकी there are a few things that sir would like to point out, तो सर आप बताइए.
So balance of judgment पे आ जाते हैं. पहले जैसे ठीक, मुझे भी वो ठीक लगा, क्योंकि जहाँ पे कोलिजन वाला सवाल था तो आपने वो बता दिया. उसके बाद मैं स्पेसिफिक हुआ और प्रेस किया आपको कि आप बताइए, आप वेलकम करते हैं नहीं करते. तो आपने ये भी कह दिया कि देखो मैं स्टेटस कोइस्ट तो नहीं हूँ, कि मैं क्लोज सिस्टम को, ठीक है, विदाउट बीइंग ऑफेंसिव टू कोलिजन. फेयर. आप अपने आप को रिफॉर्मिस्ट भी प्रूव कर रहे हैं कि ठीक है सर, आई वेलकम द रिफॉर्म. ठीक है. और साथ में आप कैवेट भी, एक तो कैवेट आपने कहा कि हाँ चलिए जी, वो स्टैंडर्ड क्राइटेरिया होना चाहिए, है ना? तो इस तरीके से तो वो बैलेंस कर पा रहे हैं आप. ये नहीं कि एक ही पक्ष को नहीं सर, या फिर कई बार ये हो जाता है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जजमेंट है, मैं तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जजमेंट से ही स्टिक अराउंड करूंगा. No, but even in that judgment, one judge, Mr. Chalmeshwar, justice, he was differing.
Right.
Because majority judgment
So the basically I was able to thought कि अभी mistrust आ गया दोनों में, एग्जीक्यूटिव और जुडिशरी में।
हाँ वो तो आप हाँ बैलेंस कर पा रहे हैं वो,
Right.
तभी मैं कह रहा हूँ बिल्कुल सही चीज है, उस लाइन पे आप जा सकते हैं, ठीक है, वो पार्ट बिल्कुल ओके है। हम मेजॉरली देखिए, एक तो आई एम इन टोटल कॉन्करेंस विद द सर ने ऑलरेडी ब्यूटीफुली समराइज कर दी हैं चीजें, तो उसमें पूरी तरह से एग्री करता हूँ। ठीक है, वर्बल इवन हिंदी भी मुझे तो लग रहा है कि सही है,
ठीक है, हिंदी बस लग रहा है कि वैसे हिंदी बोलनी पड़ती है,
वो आपको माइंड में सही है, तो वो अभी क्लियर हो गया ना आपको।
ठीक है सर।
तो वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन इज गुड, इंग्लिश में फ्लुएंसी ठीक है, थॉट का फ्लुएंसी तो ठीक है, ओके। देन वी कम पर्सनल प्रोफाइल, हम बात कर चुके हैं बहुत रिलेटेड, ओके। इंटेलेक्चुअल, मॉरल, क्रिटिकल असेसमेंट, दिस इज ऑल गुड, और आई वांट टू कम टू दिस थिंग दैट ओके योर पोस्चर इज गुड। आपको किसी ने बताया भी होगा कि ये चीज इस तरह से करनी है, ठीक है, बिल्कुल। और एक जो पॉजिटिव पॉइंट है, सबसे पहले मैं उस पर आता हूँ कि जो चाहे ये आपका एज फैक्टर भी है जो आपके हक में जाएगा, कि आपका एक नेचुरल पोस्चर है। कई बार ये होता है कि जो और कैंडिडेट हैं तो बहुत ज्यादा प्रैक्टिस करके वो पोस्चर तो हासिल करते हैं, लेकिन वो आर्टिफिशियल लगता है, वो उसको कैरी आउट नहीं कर पाते होते, वो लग रहा है कि यार ये थोड़ा जबरदस्ती एक्टिंग प्ले की जा रही है, ठीक है, वो दिख जाता है। आपका बहुत नेचुरल चीज है जो आपके फेवर में जाएगी, कि योर वे ऑफ लाइफ दिस, मतलब आप इस तरह से हैं, वो फील आ रही थी, इट्स गुड। आप प्लीजिंग पर्सनालिटी में, और एनीबॉडी वुड लाइक टू टॉक टू यू, टू कन्वर्स विद यू। एक मैं चाहता हूँ, मतलब आप अपनी डेली लाइफ में भी स्माइल नहीं करते हैं?
और सर मुझे काफ़ी फीडबैक मिलता है कि आई स्माइल लेस व्हाइल टॉकिंग, आई विल वर्क अपॉन दैट, बट अभी हफ्ते में इतना चेंज थोड़ा मुझे लगता है मुश्किल है, बट आई वाज ट्राइंग टू गिव वन लाइनर व्हाइल स्माइलिंग, जैसे वो पोलो कोलो पे क्वेश्चन था।
हाँ, वहाँ पे आया आपको।
हाँ, आई विल ट्राई सर,
ब्यूटीफुल स्माइल,
आई विल ट्राई सर।
प्लीज कैरी इट, और ऐसा तो नहीं है कि बहुत ज्यादा देर 15-20 मिनट आपको इस चीज का ध्यान रखना है, एंड और मेरे ख्याल से आप बस थोड़ा कॉन्शियस रहें इस बारे में,
ठीक है सर।
प्लीज, है ना, ये मेरी एक जो स्ट्रेंथ है पर्सनालिटी की, उसको ये और स्ट्रेंथन कर रहा है,
जी सर,
तो है ना, 15-20 मिनट में तो, और सिर्फ ये ऐसा नहीं कि आपको याद रखना बार बार के हंसना नहीं, जस्ट बी कॉन्शियस, उसको प्रैक्टिस भी करें 2-4 दिन, तो ऐसा नहीं है कि 5-7 दिन में मैं कैसे कर लूंगा, इट्स अबाउट 15-20 मिनट्स वी कैन मैनेज द थिंग्स ना। और कोई ओवरऑलिंग आपकी कोई चीज नहीं, बड़ी चीज नहीं है, सोचिए कि जब मैंने स्माइल जारी मनी की मैं ऐसे कैसे करूँ, नहीं, इट कैन बी, आपको बस आप कोई स्टैंडर्ड कॉमेडी देखेंगे तभी तो आप हंस रहे हैं। वन थिंग, एक छोटी सी प्रॉब्लम जो है वो इजीली आप करेक्ट कर जाएंगे,
जैसे अभी मैंने अब नोटिस करा, so when you're listening attentively na, so you tilt your head and your mouth opens,
so that's one reason because my nose is blocked,
अच्छा,
so I'm breathing through,
अच्छा, मेरे बीच में लगा था, I wanted to ask you this question, are you feeling okay, मतलब क्या?
Yeah, I'm having cold for past 2 days, तो my नाक पूरा बंद है सर अभी, तो I'm breathing through.
Tomorrow is your DSP वाला in Panchkula, so you're okay?
But उसमें से height और वही है, चेस्ट, उसमें कुछ ऐसा फिजिकल एक्टिविटी नहीं है,
रेस जंप नहीं है,
नहीं
वैसे पता क्या, जनरली if you're not feeling okay ना, तो you don't like to travel and all, वैसे तो ठीक है।
हाँ वैसे ठीक है सर, जैसे कॉमन कोल्ड, वो बस नाक बंद है तो I'm breathing through mouth सर।
Okay, it gives an impression that this boy is dull, generally वैसा impression देते हैं ना कि मुंह खुला है, वो वैसा impression।
I'll keep a tab on it।
तक let's hope, second Feb है ना?
हाँ जी, third
Feb तक let's hope हो जाएगा,
ये हो जानी चाहिए, और आप कोशिश भी करेंगे,
so I'll be conscious of it।
पानी पिए, कोई ऐसी चीज खानी पीनी नहीं है, और हवा का एक्सपोजर बाहर या जो भी है उससे आप बचाव रखें, और बस ये मेरा ख्याल समझ में आ गया। अगर ये है, आप खुद भी इसके बारे में सोचें, है ना, तो एक थॉट दें इसको, तो अगर ये है कि लाइक दिस, है ना, वैसा आपने बताया कि ये नहीं है आपके साथ, देन फाइन, अगर ये है तो इसको करेक्ट करना होगा।
जी सर।
तो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट, रेस्ट ऑल इज गुड, बहुत सारी चीजें जबरदस्त आपके फेवर में है, वेरी प्रॉमिसिंग कैंडिडेट, मतलब
very nice,
you're really promising candidate,
very promising, not just for HCS, for UPSC as well.
Thank you.
So let's hope you reach the interview stage next time.
Sir, I have cleared the prelims.
sorry,
I have cleared the mains.
भूल ही गया. He is preparing for UPSC also. You're a very strong candidate for UPSC as well.
Right.
Very strong. But again, age is in your favor. कब है 10th मार्च से पहले या 10th
बाद में सर.
बाद में है ना 10th मार्च तक तो रिलीज
हाँ जी.
तो 10th मार्च के बाद तो he has a lot of time.
Right.
So अभी HCS पे फोकस करना अच्छे से, फिर उसके बाद read up on हरियाणा जी के. That's the
Sure,
only
sir.
thing that you require.
Sure, sir.
है ना? And वो important है. बाकी is a very good candidate, very strong candidate for UPSC as well. This was your third attempt for UPSC. Second.
Third attempt, sir.
Third attempt.
Second mains and third attempt.
Third attempt. Very nice. You're a very strong candidate. PCS भी दिया था.
So पंजाब का दिया था, उसमें मेंस क्वालिफाई नहीं हुआ था.
अच्छा.
और हरियाणा
अब
का
ये वही last वाला.
लास्ट वाला.
अच्छा.
तब तो फर्स्ट ईयर अटेम्प्ट था शायद यूपीएससी और 2020 में था.
अच्छा. First वाला. Alright. नहीं सही है. You're a very strong candidate. And ठीक है. Let's hope you clear UPSC as well. You'll be very happy. You're a very strong candidate. Both of us discussed that when you were outside. He is a very strong candidate. There are a lot of things that are going to work in his favor, especially the age part, especially your personality also, your body language, non-verbal communication.
Right.
Again, for HCS only, just brush up your Haryana people.
Right.
UPSC में
हाँ.
चाहिए ही नहीं होता हरियाणा.
Right.
Apart, हाँ एक और चीज हरियाणा जीके में read up on SYL SYL के नाम का issue करना, and it doesn't matter what your stand is. Just say this ke, sir, whatever the thing is, but the real party that is losing is the people. कुछ ऐसा सा ना? You understand? यार law should take its own course वगैरह, क्योंकि SYL पे आपसे पूछ सकते हैं आप पंजाब से.
So because मैंने पंजाब के लिए पढ़ा है SYL, यूपीएससी के लिए प्रिपेयर कर रहा था, so I came to conclusion कि Punjab should complete its part of the construction.
You came to that conclusion.
Right.
That would work in Haryana.
Right.
And if you're going to say that in UPSC also, that would work.
Because something has been promised by the Punjab.
That's your opinion,
right,
final
sir.
opinion. Then that's a fair opinion. Because generally what happens is that there happened with us, the other candidate who is also preparing for UPSC, right? So he was totally on Punjab side that we shouldn't compete
Right,
together. So I told him, don't say that in front of the interview. Don't say that in front of the panelists.
Right.
Because that would give a very wrong impression of you. So that's not your opinion at all. So your original opinion stands like it's good. So right. But read up on SYL also. You have read up. You have
Sure, sir. I'll read more.
Sure, sir. You've already studied the entire issue.
Yes, sir.
So ठीक है. So just brush up your Haryana GK. That's the only thing you should take away from this interview. That's it.
Also, one more question, like you asked about the reservation for 75%. Then I was opposing the act.
It's not problematic at all.
Okay.
Not problematic at all. There have been students who have supported this decision. There have been students who have opposed this decision. What you need to do is that whatever your view is, you need to be able to justify that view. You gave 3 causes.
Right.
Remember?
Right.
So you had a justified viewpoint. You had reasons for that.
Right.
So that's okay. It's not a problem. Generally, it is told to us that you should never disagree with the government.
Right.
You can. That was not a problematic disagreement. You were asking for your opinion.
Right.
Politicians would also ask for your opinion when you be posted as a bureaucrat over there. So you can say that whatever your decision is, I'll implement, but that's my opinion that this shouldn't be done. है ना? तो वो जानना चाह रहे हैं. So if you say, sir, it's going to be problematic, it is not the right approach because again, ease of doing business
Short-term fix.
short-term fix है, वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. So you had your reasons.
Right.
Problem तब आती है आपका कोई भी व्यू पॉइंट होता, पर बस होता. Reasons नहीं है. You have nothing to back it up with.
Right.
So you had something to back it up with, so that's okay. वो चीज है.
Also, in few questions, for example, sociology or anthropology का question, I was not fully aware about the difference. तो फिर मैंने सोचा कि अगर मैं बोलूँ कि I'm not aware, तो वो शायद अच्छा नहीं दिखता because
अच्छा दिखता है.
तो इसलिए try to stretch it कि मैं जितना खींच सकूँ.
Sorry sir, I'm unable to recall वाली जो line है ना,
ये नहीं है.
तो नहीं आएगा. तो जो few basics question है वो तो मतलब कैसे भी करके कि स्लो बोल के या निकाल लो.
तो ये तो प्रिपेयर ही कर लेना.
हाँ.
This is very important. इस पे चलेगा ही नहीं.
Right.
But I could see that you are thinking about it right now.
Right.
एकदम से अभी दिमाग में आया. So वो चीज़ है, just take care of that. बाकी your profile is good. You're a very promising candidate. मतलब we have no doubt whatsoever with respect to that. And all the best for your UPSC interview as well.
Thank you,
You're
sir.
a very strong candidate और ठीक हो जाओ जल्दी.
Thank you, sir.
All right. कुछ आपने पूछना कमल?
So यही doubts थे बस.
चलो. All the very best. Kamal.
All the
बस
best.
one question कि I met an HCS जो last batch के थे. They said कि they are not allowing you to say your name or place
पिछली
of.
बार ऐसा हुआ था कि
in
आप
the
अपनी
intro.
introduction दे रहे हो.
So should I start with my age कि I'm 24 years old?
हाँ.
और since अगर उन्हें DAF नहीं भरवाया, let's say, तो should I mention ये YRC और research paper वाला in intro?
हाँ. These are your strong points. Mention कर देना.
ठीक है sir.
Chances हैं कि वहीं पे आपसे DAF भरवा ले उस दिन.
Right.
एक एप्लीकेशन से करवा ले. Chances इस चीज के बिना फॉर्म के तो इंटरव्यू इम्पॉसिबल समझ आएगा. We'll do that.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
All the very best for your UPSC interview.
Thank you so much,
That's
sir.
very important.
Thank you, sir.